Today we're going to be asking the question, can this incredibly cheap screen capture software use a blur function now? Well, if you'd like to learn a little bit more about that, stick around to the end. I'm Henry and I'm from Product Creation Formula. And here at Product Creation Formula, we love to give you tips and tricks to help you create your products quickly and easily. Along with that, we also do product reviews, as well as tips on how to make money online. So if that sounds interesting to you, how about you smash the like button, as well as subscribe and also hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when we upload more videos. Alright guys, let's go check it out. Okay, now here we are at a place called 𝗤𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗂𝗧. Now 𝗤𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂 was the screen recorder I used to use way back when I first started online. I jumped away from it to go to 𝗕𝘂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗧 because, well, for two main reasons. One was it was only 720p definition. So if I wanted something, that you could really have a good look at on the screen, it was a little bit not really great quality. So, like you look at it and it was kind of a little tiny bit fuzzy. And also, it never had a blur function. Now I had some sensitive information I wanted to show people on my YouTube channel, my previous YouTube channel, and I didn't have a way of blurring it. But I did have other ways around it, which this did have, but I really needed or wanted the blur feature so that it looked a lot more professional. And I'll show you a little bit more about that right now in a few minutes. Right now, I'm currently on 𝗕𝘂𝗂𝗂𝗧. Now I'm going to have to jump off 𝗕𝘂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗧 to show you what 𝗤𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗧 is like. Now let me just bring 𝗤𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂 up for you in just a moment. I'll bring that up. Now I'm just going to bring that around here for you so you can have a closer look at it. So this one here has got like a lot of functions. Now in the past, it never had a webcam feature. If it did, it wasn't very good. Now this does now have a webcam feature as well, which is fantastic. Now I'll pause the video in a second and then I'll actually take you into the back end of this. Now, the one thing I will say about the video editor on this is the video editor has got some really cool functions on it, but it's really limited as well. So I would highly recommend that if you're going to be getting a free video editor, along with this very cheap screen capture software, this screen capture software is literally only $19.95 to get a lifetime license. $19.95 US to get a lifetime license. And well, that's worth it. Also too, this one here, they now have 1080 definition and it can pick up on 4K desktops as well. So it's really quite versatile now compared to what it used to be. So in just a moment, as I said, I'm going to turn off my 𝗕𝘂𝗂𝗂𝗧 and then we'll flick across to 𝗤𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂. But before we do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this and I'm going to show you what this part looks like. As you can see here, all you want to do, show you a few of the options first. Now over here you go to devices. Now this is where you want to set up your microphone, which is really important. In my case, it's the Yeti. And then over here you got your webcam, which is at the moment, I have to have no other choice but to use my Logitech Brio, which is what I'm using. Now I'm also making this, you've got three options here, or several options. You've got rectangle, rounded rectangle, square, rounded square, circle, or ellipse. I'm choosing to stick with a circle. So, and there's that. So we'll close OK. You also have hotkeys. So if I want to zoom in somewhere, hit F8. If I want to pause or resume, I can then hit F10. I can also have a look. I've got this so that when I start it up, it will give me the edit. It'll allow me to edit the video straight away. And I'll show you that a little bit later. And over here, you got the various things like capture mouse pointer, highlight mouse pointer, which is what it does, highlight mouse clicks, and it does all that. And to zoom in, it can zoom in at 200%. I can have it zoom into 3 or even 400% if I want to. Now I'll leave it at 400%. And when we start this, I will show you what it's like. Now I will need to, you see when I go to do this, I have this one here selected so that I can actually capture this region of the screen. Now if I want to, I can do full screen without taskbar. So basically it'll just show everything from here down and everything just on that part of the screen. But I'm choosing to have this part here. All right, so I'm going to stop 𝗕𝘂𝗂𝗂𝗧 and we'll jump straight across to 𝗤𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂. Okay, now there are several differences here. Now I've got the mouse, I can move myself around on the screen here as much as I want. Usually on the top corners is where it'll take you. It won't usually allow you to stay in the center. It just takes you one side or the other depending on what part of the video you're at. Now, I'm a little disappointed with this part, and that is the fact that it won't allow me to do a mirror image. I usually do a mirror image on my videos, but this is what I actually look like without the mirror image. What we're going to do is I'm going to quickly show you. You can see that the quality is actually really good. If you have a look over here, that is literally crystal clear. All of that is crystal clear and really easy to read, super easy. I've also nice clear function here. Now, I will say you can't see it, but just above my image, you got a one where I can shrink the image down, or I can actually expand it so that I can go full screen. Now watch what happens for a second when I go full screen. There I am, full screen. So of course I'm using my Logitech Brio right now, and it's a little bit jerky. I have this set up at 30 frames a second. It would be nice if it was able to jump it up to maybe 60 frames a second so that it wasn't quite so jerky, but hey, it is what it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to now click over here where it's going to shrink it back down to the circle again. Now I'm also going to show you something. I'm going to hit F8. I'm going to put my mouse somewhere on the screen. Let's say over here. I'm going to put my mouse over to say here, and then I'm going to hit F8, and then we're going to zoom in. Watch this. Have a look at that. Now if I move around the screen, you can actually see what's happening here. If I want to, I can also scroll down here, go over here, have a look at what I'm doing down here, back up here, and zoom into there. So that is all within, that is actually while I'm recording. Hit F8. Now I'm back to my original size, and as I said, that is all while recording. And the editor here is not as full featured as, say, for example, Camtasia. It does have some features that I think are pretty cool, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Let's go check out the editor for fast stone capture. Now I will say that I would highly recommend that if you're going to go and do any kind of editing, do it in OpenShot Video Editor, because OpenShot Video Editor really has got a lot of functions. But if you're going to be doing the blur, don't use the blur function in here, because the blur function in here blurs your entire screen and doesn't allow you to blur sections of the screen. So for example, I wanted to blur this area here. I could do that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, it's now blurred. What it used to have was a solid block color. It could be white, and ones I used to use was white with a red line around the edges, so you could see that it was actually not just the color of a white screen. So I put the red edges there just to separate it, say, hey, this is hidden. This is information that I've hidden. But now it has the blur function, so I don't have to worry about that. So we'll take that off and we'll go back to the blur function, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there we are, we're back to the blur function. It's as simple as that. Now I did all that part inside of fast stone capture, not inside of OpenShot. Now if I wanted to, I would then transfer it across to OpenShot if I wanted to do some more functional editing, for example, cutting and slicing and all that sort of stuff. Because I have to say, fast stone capture, although it's good, it is limited in a lot of things it can do. All right, now let's go check out the editing features. Okay, well, I'm currently saving this as tests onto my desktop so that it's easier to actually use. So in just a moment, once this is finished going through, what will actually happen is it will open up the editor, and then we can get started. Now we got here original size, and we got smaller size 1920 by 1080. So by definition, that is high definition. You can choose also the other functions here. You can choose different sizes, but that one there is literally high definition. As I said, it used to be only 720p, which was there, but now we can actually go all the way up to high definition, which is exactly what we're wanting. So let's just click OK, and then we can just hit play. Now this is the timeline just here. Not happy with how they do the timeline here, but it is what it is. Let's just press play. Okay, now there are several differences here. Now I've got the mouse. Yeah, I'm going to take this to the point where I had been speaking about blurring the features. Okay, get over to where it's blurring the features. Okay, have a look at that. Now let's just zoom in for a second. Let's have a look at the zoom section. Let's say over here, I'm going to put my mouse over to say here, and then I'm going to hit F8, and then we're going to zoom in. Watch this. Have a look at that. Now if I move around the screen, you can actually see what's happening here. If I want to, I can also scroll down here, go over here, have a look at what I'm doing down here, back up here, and zoom into there. That is actually while I'm recording. Hit F8. Now I'm back to my original size, and as I said, that is all while recording. And the editor here, even though it's not as full featured as, say, for example, Camtasia, I'm going to pause that because you don't need to hear me say all that again. I'm going to go through until I find where I'm actually zooming in. I'm just going to scroll through a little bit, move forward a little bit more. Okay, I think I might be saying it around about here. Let's have a look here. So we'll take that off and we'll go back to the blur function. Okay, go back over here a little bit for fast stone capture. Now I will say that I would highly recommend that if you're going to go past this section, okay, try there. I could do that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now this is where I would be wanting the blur feature now. Okay, have a look at this. To do that, all I have to do is go over here to draw. Now in the past, when it came to doing this, it would only allow you to do pictures, not the video. Now watch this. Now I can go here, I hit the blur feature. Now down here, you got options here. You can either do it as pixelated or you can do blur. And I would strongly suggest 100% blur and don't use pixelation, because if you use pixelation, let's show you something here. That there are some actual softwares that can get past that. So if you're trying to hide some sensitive information, then that's not the way to go. Blur, on the other hand, it can't be gotten past. You can't get past blur. So that is the way you want to go. I'm just going to hit Control and I'm going to scroll back a little bit so I can see what's going on. Then all you need to do is hit OK. Now up here, see that little green line just there? That little green line indicates whether or not that it's the blur. Now we can play it through to when we get to the end of the blur. And as you can see, it's now blurred. What it used to have was a solid block color. It could be white, and ones I used to use was white with a red line around the edges, so you could see that it was actually not just the color of a white screen. So I put the red edges there just to separate it, say, hey, this is hidden. This is information that I've hidden. But now it has the blur function, so I don't have to worry about that. So we'll take that off and we'll go back to the blur function, 5, 4. Actually, I'll take that back over here. I might actually add that here, and I'll show you how I did that. Originally, this was this one here. I just hit that one there, and then I just go over the top of that, and that's what I used to have. I hit that, okay, expand that up a little bit, not just the color of a white screen. So I put the red edges there just to separate it, say, hey, this is hidden. This is information that I've hidden. But now it has the blur function, so I don't have to worry about that. So we'll take that off and we'll go back to the blur function, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I know that's how far I want to take that. So I'll take that just before the edge of that, go back to draw, put the blur function back in here, and we'll then re-scroll back over there and put the blur in. Hit OK. And if we were to then get this, I could then expand that across to there, have them all touching, and then there'll be a seamless transition between them. If you have a look at this, and as you can see, it's now blurred. I'll take it a bit closer along so I don't have to wait so long, just so you could see that it was actually not just the color of a white screen. So I put the red edges there just to separate it, say, hey, this is hidden. This is information that I've hidden. But now it has the blur function, so I don't have to worry about that. So we'll take that off and we'll go back to the blur function, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there we are, we're back to the blur function. It's as simple as that. Now I did expand that just a little bit longer. Now, that's one of the main features that I really want to show you on this, but they also have a lot of other features here. Let me show you. In the draw function, you can add text if you wish to, have thought bubbles and rectangles, all that sort of stuff. You can add arrows of different kinds. You can draw if you want to. You also have the ability to put different shapes. You can put emojis in there. Brackets, you can put brackets in if you want to say bracketize something. But anyway, you got those options. You can also add images if you wish to. If you wanted to get an image, I can download that. So it's got a lot of different functions in this section here, which you'd probably want to be to use. But if you have a look here, you can save it as a GIF. You can do titles. You can add zoom effect if you want to do more zoom effecting here. And you got all these different functions. But if you want true functionality outside of zooming and outside of things that this can do for you, go here to OpenShot and then you can download it. Now this saves it as a MWV file, I'm pretty sure. Let me just save that. I know it's an MP4. And we can make that, okay, test edit. All right, MP4, we'll go to that, we'll hit save. And once that's finished saving, we can then pop that across to OpenShot. I'm gonna pause the video. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab that particular video. I'm gonna drag that across to this area just here where it's got test edit MP4. And then we're just going to take that and drag that down into the timeline number 1. And as you can see, it's now playing along. Now, if you want to say, for example, do some cuts or edits or anything like that, it's going to be much easier if you just do it here. Now, say, for example, you want to take that across to here and you want to do a cut just there. You can do a cut just there. Get a little slice bar just there. I'm not sure if S will do it. Yeah, you can do it. Hit S and that'll slice it up as well. And as you can see, there's a bit of a cut there. And you can move it across for other functionality. Say, for example, you want to do that one there, you can hit S, and you want to add transitions to these sections. Let's say, for example, you want to put a transition. You have all these different transitions, like you got your blur transition, you can put that just there, and that'll go between there and there. Do the same with this one. Probably want to keep the same one. And we can have a quick look and see what that's like. There we go. Let's not waste any time and go press play. Second, it would be nice if I was able to jump it up to maybe 60 frames a second so that it wasn't quite so jerky, but hey, it is what it is. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to now click over here. It's super slow. We can always shrinking that right down because that was way too slow. Let's go back and see if we can speed that up a chunk. Jerky, but hey, it is what it is. Now, what I'm going to do is, so as you can see, I didn't like that transition, but it's, yeah. You can shrink it up to the size you want, and I highly suggest you probably do that because it looks like it's going to be a little too slow otherwise. Put up to maybe 60 frames a second so that it wasn't quite so jerky, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, so I suggest you just do that. Maybe just hit that and perhaps copy it if you can and take it to the next one and do the transition just here because that transition's way too slow. Delete that. Control V, and you can add that transition across to here and use that, or whatever, you know, it's up to you. how you want to do it. You have a lot more functionality here, and because you've got a bigger timeline, you can actually see what you're doing, and you have more timelines, which means you can add extra things to it. You can add images, you can do effects. The effects are pretty cool. Don't use the blur effect, because what happens is if you use the blur effect, watch what happens. It blurs the entire screen and you can't use anything else. So I'm just going to go Control Z to get rid of that. You literally can't shrink that down to another section of the screen, or just do what I did on this one. This is why you don't use the blur function on OpenShot, because it just doesn't work properly. It does the entire screen instead of a section, which is, especially if you just want to blur off a little section like that, which has got somebody sensitive information. So that, my friends, is how you use a really, really cheap $20 screen capture software that has a blur function. Hey, if you got some value out of this video, how about you smash the like button as well as subscribe, and also hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when we upload more videos. Hey, while you're at it, why not consider sharing? Also, leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of fast stone capture. Now, also too, right here is a video I believe you might like. Down here is a video YouTube thinks you might like. And right here, well, that's an image of my head. If you click on that, you'll be able to subscribe. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.